Hey guys, good to see you tonight here at that Monday evening in this webinar with Sujoy Golan. My name is Marius. I'm driving at UpGrad, the digital marketing program. Part of the founding team of UpGrad, we believe that digital marketing is one of the key areas that actually requires very skilled workforce in the future. Individuals who do not only understand digital channels, but rather understand the bigger picture in marketing. And we are very happy that all of you guys have come in tonight to listen to Sujoy. Sujoy, I think, doesn't really need an introduction, but he is head of digital marketing at InMobi, the largest mobile app platform in the world. He has been working and driving digital marketing there for multiple years. Before that, he has held multiple senior positions in digital marketing. Sujoy will talk today a little bit about how to cut the clutter in digital, how you can actually stand out in the crowd in digital marketing today. Because what we all believe is that nowadays, especially in digital marketing, there's a lot of noise out there, right? And you can actually lose track very easily in the very noisy world of digital marketing today. So he will share tonight some thoughts on how you can actually cut through the clutter, how you can stand out in the crowd. And what I would suggest and encourage all of you guys is actually do use the question part very actively. So on the right side of this video, you will actually see a Google Chat window, right? So please do keep posting questions throughout the entire session with us. What I will do, once Sujoy has gone through some slides that he has prepared for you guys tonight and shared some of the knowledge that he wanted to share with you, I will then pick up these questions that you have been asking throughout the webinar live. And Sujoy will do his best to answer most of these questions. But for now, I will just hand it over to Sujoy and wish you a great night on digital marketing.
Thanks, Marius. Thanks for having me over. I really believe that this is an actual pain point for digital marketers today. And I'll try my best to share my experiences. The goal is that this is a hands-on session. This is interactive. And we are talking about real-world case studies and problems to help you apply a bunch of these based on my experiences and what I've been through. So I will dive right into a few decks that I have prepared. A bunch of this has come with from the questions that you have asked while you've signed up. Like Marius introduced the subject of today's webinar, as consumers, we see this day in and day out. It's a very, very noisy world, right? If I were to look at it, there are advertisers that are shouting at me. And as a consumer, I'm listening to messages on TV. When I open my email, I see ads there. I go online to check scores, cricket scores, and I see ads there. These messages are everywhere. Everybody's telling you to buy something, to sign up for something, to spend some money with them. And this is getting quite crazy, right? And over the years, as consumers, many of us have developed what in the industry we call banner blindness, right? So if we see an ad online on our mobile phones or on the internet, on a website or on an app, we tend to ignore them, right? We just don't even pay attention because we're banner blind. And for marketers like us, that's a real problem when consumers start ignoring our marketing. So the pain point for us digital marketers is how do we appeal to consumers? How do we cut through all of that noise and engage consumers? We look at what you can do, right? We'll cover both the B2B side of digital marketing as well as the B2C side. So whichever side you're interested in, or if you cover both, this is something that's relevant to you. So what do consumer marketers do? So these are marketers who are B2C marketers who are reaching consumers with their messages. Now this is a checklist. I think of this as a checklist. When you start your campaign, or when you even start thinking about your campaign, where should you start, right? As a best practice in digital, and don't forget this applies to
I'm just wondering, Sujoy, sorry to interrupt for a second. I'm just wondering, are you sharing slides already?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am actually.
Because right now we still see your face.
Okay, let me try that again.
There you go. There you go.
Okay, got it. Got it. So yes, we will start with the B2C side, or the consumer marketing side of digital marketing, where you as a digital marketer are starting to think about what should your message be, or what should your campaign be like, right? And that is an important starting point where you should spend the most time, right? So the best way to cut through the clutter is to actually spend the most time and effort within the ideation phase, where you're thinking about your messages and where you're thinking about what you will tell consumers, right? And underlying all of this is storytelling. If you look at the best brands or the most memorable brands and campaigns and digital campaigns that you've seen and that you remember, there's usually a common thread, and that is that these campaigns appeal to our emotions, right? They talk about what it's like to experience the product, right? They don't talk about that the product gives you A, B, C benefits, but instead they talk about what it makes you feel like, right? Think about just think about what some of the campaigns that you remember hard with you, right? When I think about this, a few campaigns come to, a few recent campaigns come to mind. Some of you might have uh, bought a paperboard beverage, right? So what does paperboard talk about? For example, paperboard does not say that our mango drink is 55% concentrate and is taken through an industrial production that is completely clean, right? Paperboard doesn't do that in that digital marketing, right? So paperboard instead appeals to your emotion. If you look at the back of the pack, you'll see some very interesting copy written there, right? It appeals to nostalgia. So Paperboard talks about how in its mango drink, at the back of its packaging, it talks about, you know, how we all remember plucking mangoes with our grandparents, many of us, right? And how we remember going to the bazaar, walking through shops, and having the smell of fresh mangoes hit us. Right? That's what it talks about, and that kind of marketing appeals to consumers. Think about another example. Right? We've seen Airtel. A lot of us talk about the Airtel ad, but we don't remember the Airtel ad too much, and we don't talk very positively about Airtel. We talk positively about one of their competitors. Right? We talk. Most of us love Vodafone's ads. And what does Vodafone do? Vodafone doesn't tell you that they give you the best 4G signal in remote areas, remote parts of India. Instead, they talk about uh, a little pug following you around and who's very loyal to you, and right, and that is emotional, that is advertising, and that is consumer appeal. So the takeaway from this is spend enough time here understanding what connects with your consumers and how you can bring that connect about in your campaign, right? So spend 40%, spend a majority of your time, the largest part of your time in the concept and ideation phase. Think deeply about how you would engage with your consumers. As a thumb rule, this is not hard and fast, but usually this is seen to work well, is spend about 30% of your time in creation, right, in creating content, and the rest of your time, which is about the rest 30%, in distribution and amplification, right? So in running your campaigns, in actually executing them and reaching your consumers. Now that you've thought about ideation, you've gone through the ideation phase, you reach and you're going through content creation, it is very easy to quickly get into this phase and say, you know, I will do all the standard things. Right? I will create a banner, I will create a standard email, maybe I will create an app and then just blast all of this out to consumers, right? In the digital marketing industry, there's a term that's very commonly used is email blasts. We send out an email blast to 1 lakh people, right? But that's not a very good way of putting it, because the moment you blast, it means that you hit everybody with the same thing. And that's not a very good idea, because you need to think personalization. And my suggestion here is move away from traditional web and banner ads. They're easy to create, but they're also easy to ignore. Right? We've seen how consumers today have become banner blind. Right? Think about newer formats. So keep traditional formats. Right? I'm not saying do away with them, but think about newer formats. Think low-cost video. Right? Today, most smartphones can shoot pretty good video. Right? Use your smartphones to create video. Think about content that is easily consumable, that is very clever, and you can possibly go viral, right? Think about interactive rich media, where as a consumer, you can go onto an app or go onto a site and interact with the ad, right? Today, our smartphones give us a lot of power, where users can shake the phone, users can tilt, users can swipe, rub, and do all sorts of things on the phone, and interact with your ads, right? That's the power of the medium, and that's what you should exploit, right? So I think you can create content. Written content is powerful, right? Written content is traditional content that is powerful and should be out there. So your blogs, your white papers, etc., should be out there. But how do you package your content innovatively, right? So blogs, for example, can be packaged as a content hub. Right? I'm not affiliated with these guys, but Uberflip, take Uberflip for example. Go to Uberflip; it allows you to create wonderful content hubs that bring in written blogs, that bring in video, that bring in SlideShare, decks, etc., and create and present that to your customers. You can also think about a game. Hey, how about creating a video game for your brand, right? Something interactive, something that has gamification built in, and that users would play and users would love. And that's what you'll be known for. The third thing, and if you're advertising, is you should think about native ads. Right? Native ads is a buzzword today because it is working. And so native ads, most of us have seen these ads on apps or on websites that we frequently visit. And these ads are content ads, right? This is content marketing at play. These ads are packaged as content, right? These ads do not deceive a user or are not disguised completely as content, because they need to be labeled as ads. So if you see, there's usually a label saying sponsored content, or a label saying advertising. Right? So consumers or the readers know it's an ad, but it prevents banner blindness because it is part of the feed that you see. Right? Any guesses as to what is the native advertising that most of us see every day? Yeah, so I know might not have voice enabled, but it's Facebook. Right, so the ads we see in our Facebook news feeds, those are native ads. Right? Those are not banners that sit on the side of the website or the web app, or a banner that sits right at the bottom of your mobile phone app. Right? These are instead ads that look like updates from your friends, and that's precisely why it's very useful, because it has your attention and it is part of the flow. And you should try out native ads, right? And these are a great way of engaging customers, provided you have spent enough time in ideation and content creation, right? So advertising is the third phase of the series of steps that we saw, where you're trying to disseminate and amplify your campaign. So it has its pros and cons. We've discussed some of this. It is less expensive. It bypasses banner blindness. It does seem deceptive at times, which is why it's important that if you see the image here on the left, there's a label that says sponsor content. This content from IBM that is shown on the this website, The Atlantic, is sponsored content. Right? It's very cleanly labeled. So in these cases, it's not deceptive at all. While you are amplifying your content, a great way to do it on a low budget is to leverage organic social networks, right? So my advice here would be for you to build shareability into your product or into your ad itself, right? So we've seen Uber do this. Uber, have you seen a Uber ad on TV? No. A Uber ad on your mobile phones, maybe, but not too much, right? The way Uber got its users in India and grew its users in India is to have existing Uber riders refer their friends in return for a bonus or for free rides, right? And that was a feature that was built into the app. And again, coming back to this importantly, that feature was built in only because Uber spent enough time ideating and thinking about how to build shareability into their product, right? If you look at the app called Pocket, you'll see there are recommendations and there's also shareability that's built in, right? How did Instagram grow? Instagram also grew because from the app you could directly share to Facebook. So when this went to Facebook, users on Facebook saw that, hey, there's an app called Instagram out there, and let's go check it out, right? And this helps cut through a lot of the clutter without spending money, right? You're not paying for these ads or you're not paying for these shares, but instead your good content is shareable and they creates these pipes for your content to be shared and amplified. Well, this is not just for B2C marketers and not just for consumer marketers. A lot of us, me included, work in the B2B world. So we market to businesses, selling them stuff, and there are, and the B2B world itself, again, is very crowded, right? There are a lot of competitors, a lot of other companies out there who are marketing similar products, similar services to businesses, right? And cutting to the clutter here is again a challenge. I'll take you through a few strategies that I've seen work very well indeed in B2B marketing, right? Right up front, hard selling doesn't work. Just like in the consumer market, where if somebody comes to you and says, hey, buy my brand of shoes right now, you will back off. You will step away and you will feel intimidated and possibly just close the ad or close the window, right? It's just the same in the business to business world where hard selling doesn't work. What I've found that works is soft selling and thought leadership, right? And if I were to put it in one sentence, I'd say give before you ask. Excuse me. So before you ask your consumers to buy, prove your value to them, right? Give them content, give them ways they can improve their own businesses, right? This concept has been pioneered by a bunch of companies. One of them is HubSpot. Also, a few leaders in the marketing area, including Seth Godin, etc. And this is commonly called inbound marketing. Many of you might have heard of it. But inbound marketing essentially means you convert your customers through giving them stuff that they find useful, right? So you would bring in customers through the funnel, right from the top of the funnel, from attracting potential customers to closing and delighting existing customers, right? And providing them great content, providing them valuable inputs that could help their own businesses, right? This could be in the form of blogs, this could be in the form of email newsletters, this could be in the form of video tutorials, any form, right? The content can be packaged in any of those forms, but ultimately it needs to not hard sell, but instead prove how you can help your customers before you ask them to spend their money. Right? Think about some of the best B2B marketers you've seen. So I just, before this webinar, when I was going through these slides, I thought of this, couple of them that came to mind. One of them was GE, right? So General Electric, if you go to Twitter or go to Facebook and look at GE's accounts, you'll see that GE doesn't talk about their air turbines or their wind turbines in terms of efficiency or how much cost saving it gives their customers, but instead it just talks about innovation, right? Their entire content focuses on innovation, focuses on how they help better consumers' life, they help create a better environment, and they help students, for example, the research that they're doing. It's all about that. I'd urge you to visit the Twitter feed, for example. It's beautiful. Right? Similarly, there is, let's take something closer to home, something that a brand that we often see ads for, Accenture. Right? So Accenture is in IT, is in consulting, but when you think of Accenture, you don't think about the cost savings that they deliver or how they deliver projects on time. You think performance, right? You think about how Accenture's marketing has ingrained the idea that Accenture delivers business performance, right? So their tagline is performance delivered, right? And that creates trust among potential customers, and that's the brand they've built, right? And they've thought through the messaging and created that. So a few handy points in that direction. So provide content and thought leadership. Become a thought leader, right? Your marketing needs to drive your thought leadership, where you will be known in your industry as somebody who understands the industry very well and can help solve your customers' business problems. Right? Then provide your customers content and enlighten them on how to improve their own businesses. Right? If you tell them, hey, these are the 5 things you can do to make more sales, why won't they trust you, right? And if they found that your content is good. And obviously you need to subtly, not hard sell, but subtly highlight the value of your service. So if you're helping e-commerce retailers drive more sales from their websites, you also highlight subtly that how your product or your service fits into that, right? And then give them a way for to easily contact you. And most people, in most cases, you'll have people lining up at your door. So these are what I have already prepared, right? I hope this was useful, and this covers the fundamentals and the nuts and bolts of the topic. We now move to the questions, and we'll be happy to take the questions you have. Marius?
Great.
Yeah.
So thanks so much, Sujoy. I think that was extremely insightful. Now we have multiple questions here. Let me just look through that once. So for example, one question here from Abhishek. Abhishek Mishra is asking, does a hyper-commerce startup, a hyper-local commerce startup depend on social media for marketing only? What other types of marketing can such a startup do?
Guys, you're hyper-local, so make sure that I think the first thing that hyper-local startups need to focus on is to identify their hyper-targeted consumer base, right? So if you're a hyper-local startup that delivers to a few areas in Mumbai, for example, don't worry about social media, don't worry about pan-India social media or anything of that sort, right? So my suggestion would be to focus on a very small set of consumers, see what works for them. Could be on social media, could be on very geo-targeted campaigns. So through digital campaigns, you can geo-target down to a very small area code or a geo-fence where you're targeting consumers only in Andheri, for example. You can do that. If Andheri is your base of operations and you want to test it out only with consumers in Andheri. And then once you see what's working, then you expand. But a hyperlocal startup needs to go very, very deep and very focused.
Great. There's one question from Mamta. Mamta wants to know, how do I market a mobile app other than using a blog or PR?
There are a couple of ways. A blog or PR is usually used at the time of launch. So when you're launching an app, you announce your launch through a blog or through PR. But then how do you take it through the rest of its life, right? Which is why after the initial traction it gets, successful app companies usually supplement it with a paid campaign, right? These could be paid campaigns on Google through AdWords, Facebook, or platforms like InMobi. But you essentially need to drive awareness. And through ads, that's exactly what you do. And you'll see what's working and what's not working, and then optimize your advertising. The other way, of course, is to see how you can organically use your existing user base. So once you've got your initial PR and blog, you have a user base that's just started using, there is some active user base you have. The goal is how to leverage them through references, through social shares, through referring their friends, like we just saw with Uber. Excellent example. Referring their friends, and then grow from there on.
Great. I think that also ties a little bit to the question that Akshad has. Akshad is asking, how can you leverage existing customers to pull in more customers?
Absolutely. So make your existing customers happy, right? Find out what they're looking for, make them happy, and then ask them for references, right? Ask them to share the app with their friends on social networks, have a simple flow where they can, on a single click, they can share it on their Facebook feeds. They can refer friends through the app, maybe for incentives with the incentive of freebies. But I would say the first step is to, before you ask your customers to share and to bring in their friends, make sure that they're happy and they've spent some time with you. Another thing is, you needn't ask all your customers to go ahead and share. If you're an app developer, it is a great idea to actually segment your user base, right? So look at the user segments, look at your active user segments who are the highest users of your app, and look at your dormant user segments, right? So don't go and ask your dormant users to refer their friends. Instead, find out who your active users are, because they're the ones that are happy and are using your app, and ask them.
Great. Shiva Kumar wants to know, what is the best way to get influencer lists and engage with them over Twitter in a B2B context?
I think you'll just have to, there is no easy way to do that. Just spend enough time in the industry, looking through. You need to be an active user. If you're targeting Twitter, be an active user on Twitter. See what users are talking about. Find out who are the ones that are getting, which are the handles that are getting the highest number of shares and retweets and replies, and identify those guys, right? There are a few agencies that help you do this at scale, because otherwise, if you do this individually, you'll end up spending a lot of time searching for individual influencers. There are a few industry agencies that have lists of these influencers at scale, but my advice would be, whenever you're working with these agencies, just keep your eyes and ears open, and ensure that you're getting the right people. These are not bot accounts. Make sure that these are not bot accounts or accounts that are just set up to retweet everything.
Great. I don't know who's the real person behind, but Gladiator 9429 is asking, I'm running an online info portal. When do I decide that I gave out enough of freebies and free content, such as advice and white papers? And when do I finally start charging?
Well, Gladiator, I think you should just, I think you've been anonymous for too long, both your username and your content. I think content is a tricky game, right? Users don't like to pay for content itself, right? But users like to pay for the benefit that content brings them, right? So I would say, highlight if your content is bringing direct benefit and helping your customers directly. Start charging them then, when you can prove that your content is driving direct benefit, right? Otherwise, you'll just have to spend a lot more time understanding how your content is directly benefiting your users.
Great. Purnima is asking, what is the career scope in digital marketing? What is the career path in digital marketing?
So digital is everywhere, and so we see any business or any be it a brand or a product or a service is present on digital, right? And and the presence is in some form or the other. It could be a basic presence, so these guys could be really good at digital. And so everybody needs professionals who understand the space well, right? Professionals who can help these businesses reach and engage the customers, right? On multiple channels, could be on social media, could be through email, could be through display, retargeting, could be building websites and apps. All of this falls under digital marketing, right? But there's definitely and undeniably a demand for people and good digital marketers. And I will stress on the word good digital marketers who you needn't have a degree in digital marketing, but somebody who is trained well, and somebody who understands their job well can either grow very well in their current path, right? So you could, if you're in marketing or if you're in digital marketing, this obviously creates a direct path of growth for you, from a digital campaign manager to a digital marketing manager to head of digital teams, right? It's also useful for people who want to shift between functions. If you're in sales, if you're in business development or any other marketing function, it helps you move into digital marketing if you're skilled and if you know what you're doing within digital marketing, right? So I think both for people who are in digital marketing and who want to grow, as well as those who are new to digital marketing. This is still an emerging area. This is not, we're not talking about civil engineering, for example, where you need 5-10 years of study in the engineering discipline. But this is an area with some training and hands-on experience, you can grow or even switch fields.
Great. Deepak is asking how to analyze a content marketing campaign performance.
Different content marketing campaigns have different objectives, right? It is the most direct way to measure it would be the number of views or downloads that your content has got, right? That shows you how many people have read or accessed your content, right? That's just the primary measure. The secondary measure and the bottom line for all digital marketers is that how has my content marketing led to business benefits, right? So I would say also track it down the funnel, look at how many leads or customers that your content marketing ultimately gives you.
Great. So now we have one more question here. How do I hire good digital marketers for my company, given that I'm not well versed with it myself?
Yes, I think you should. You can, if you find somebody. There are two stages to this, right? First, you find somebody. There are people who would come and apply, and then your work would then be to evaluate them, right? I think about this. We all have a business problems. Give a business problem to a digital marketer. For example, ask him or her how they would bring in new customers, new leads. Could be app downloads, could be website visits, whichever, right? Whatever your goals are, and then go through what their answer is, right? So the answer needs to be structured, needs to make sense. And even if you don't understand digital marketing, ultimately digital marketers are solving business problems. So that's something you will need to evaluate.
Abhishek is asking, Abhishek Mishra, hi Sujoy, I want to know the importance of digital marketing over traditional marketing. And also, what can a startup with really less budget do?
Well, I've just highlighted some points in the content today, and I hope that's helped answer the second part of your question, what startups can do with lower budgets, right? Things like building shareability and virality into your product, creating low-cost content with video, etc., etc. Coming to the first part of your question, I always say this: digital marketing is part of an integrated function, right? Digital marketing doesn't exist in isolation. Digital marketing is part of traditional marketing, right? And it needs to work hand in hand with it. So if you're saying something, for example, if you've launched a new app, like somebody had the question, and you put out a press release, which is traditional marketing, you can supplement it with your digital efforts. But digital efforts are often supplemented with traditional marketing, and they go hand in hand, right? So the example of an app launch is then you run digital campaigns, you put out a press release, you also run an activation, for example, at your local mall, where you put up a booth and ask people to come and download and show them what the app is about, right? So all of this goes hand in hand, and it needs to be part of an integrated campaign.
Mm. Shiva's asking, should we decide on the content tools such as SlideShare or blogs first and create the content for these, or the other way around?
Yeah, good question. Good question. I think you need to start with an idea of the kind of content you want to create, right? For example, if it's coming back to the app launch, you want to write about what the benefits of your app are, and you have your base content ready, right? I would then suggest that then start exploring what channels you can use. For example, SlideShare. Can you put up a deck on SlideShare? Can you create a video on YouTube? Can you do something else, right? Can you start an Instagram feed? And then once you narrow down on your channels, then package the base content that you have, right? So if you have content about the benefits of your app ready, you can then package that into a video, right? You can create a deck that you can put on SlideShare, and you can also create image screenshots, for example, that you can put on Instagram. But have your base content ready. Go and explore your channels and make a decision, and then come back and package your content is what I would advise.
Great. Bharat is asking, what would be the best strategy to market a service or product that nobody knows right now?
Oh, you have to start. That's a tough one. You have to start by helping people get to know your product, right? Start with a small set of users. Right? Don't say, hey, this is my new product and I want to take it pan-India in the next 1 month. That is unlikely to work. It has worked in the past, but it's unlikely to work, right? Instead, start with, can I trial this among my extended family and friends, or maybe college alumni group, and get user feedback, right? And then ask them to spread the word and to drive more adoption. So yes, I would say start small. Don't start with a very large canvas right off. Start small and then look to grow both organically this way, and also if you have budgets, spending on inorganic ads, especially the initial phase, does help to create awareness.
Got it. Great. We have one question here on how important is video in today's digital marketing world, especially in the social media context?
Very important, very important. I was going through some numbers last week, and video stood out in two ways. Right? One is it's the fastest growing ad format and media consumption format, and I'm not talking about video that we watch on TV, but this is online video. Right? The second thing is that video has some of the highest engagement rates when compared to other media formats. Right? So when we talk about banners, say interstitial ads, text ads, or anything else, video just stands out because it's an easily consumable format and consumers love it.
Mm-hmm. Great. Sachin is asking, now a very open question, what should be a suggestive approach for a BI startup in the early stage?
Wow, that's really specific, right? So with BI, I'm assuming Sachin means business intelligence, which indicates that you would be a B2B startup, and you need to market to other businesses and sell them your BI package, right? So obviously start with, once you've built your product, you have built your product with a customer base in mind. Right. So whether you're targeting large enterprises, SMEs, or very small companies, what your target audience is. So I'd say always start with your target audience, understand what their pain points are, and then, like I said, spend 40-50% of your time in ideation, building your value proposition, messaging, etc., and then going out and reaching your audiences, right? You could reach them through social media, build your email lists. You could reach them through references, other email campaigns, etc. But spend time understanding what their pain points are and highlighting them in your marketing.
Anuj is asking, what are the key components of a digital marketing plan?
Good question, right? Always start with your. Do not start with what your digital goals are, right? So it's very easy to say my digital marketing plan will start with my digital goals are to drive 50,000 downloads or 1 lakh visitors to my website, right? Don't start there. Start with your KRAs or goals need to start with your business objectives. So understand what business objectives are. They could be bring more customers, bring more leads, drive more awareness, for example, right? So these are your business objectives. Then drill down into your digital objectives. So if you've got bring in more leads, then bring in your digital objectives to say what are the number of leads you need to generate. Drill down into what channels you plan to generate them from. Could be LinkedIn, could be social media, other forms of social media, could be email, could be display ads or search ads. Drill down into the channels, and then obviously have a strategy and plan for each channel. But right off, always start with your business objectives and then go downwards.
And I think that is really already giving the introduction to the next question of Biju. Biju is asking, how do you consider the digital marketing campaign a success?
You consider a digital marketing campaign a success when you plan, when in your marketing plan, you define what success means for you. So in your marketing plan, when you set out your goals, you need to define what your KRAs are, right? So if you set out a lead generation campaign and you need to set a goal there to say, okay, I want 5,000 leads in the next 1 month is success for me. And do not start your campaign without defining your goals. And I would repeat that any number of times. Start your campaign only when you have your KRAs and success KPIs defined, right? So what are your key performance indicators? And when you start your campaign and you start seeing results, compare them to your KPIs and see if they worked or not, and you'll know if you've succeeded or not.
Got it. Great. Deirdre wants to know, aren't email campaigns sometimes invasive on people's time? And doesn't it go a lot into spam anyways?
Yes, that's exactly what I was talking about. Email marketers use a term called email blasts, where they send maybe 200,000 emails out with a single click of a button, right? And but that's marketing in a very noisy world. Email marketers, there are a lot of smart email marketers who know that emails need to be relevant, emails need to be personalized, right? So and the content needs to be again relevant to you, right? So if I receive an email selling me kids diapers, for example, and I don't have a child, that would be a complete waste. Even if I open it, I would never open another email from the same brand, right? So I think as marketers, we need to get our targeting perfectly right, and then also personalize our emails and make sure that content is 100% relevant to the user. Because anybody who receives your email marketing and opens it is giving up the 3 or 5 minutes of their life to you. So respect their time and send them only emails that are 100% relevant and 100% useful.
Okay. We have one question here on how important is Instagram as a platform for digital marketers? Any views on that?
Oh, yes. Instagram has a large, loyal base of people. Today, most of us have smartphones. We love clicking pictures wherever we go. And you see a lot of both active and Instagrammers who are not very active, but are still on the platform, right? And all of us love both clicking and viewing these images. So a lot of brands on Instagram, and if you look at the ones that are doing really well, these are the guys that are leveraging the power of the medium, right? So they don't just put a copy of their ad there as an image, but they're creating content that is specific to Instagram, right? They're shooting high quality images, or could be even images that are shot with phone, but they are thinking about what kind of content would work on Instagram, and putting out those kind of images. So Instagram works very well in most cases, but think about Instagram as an independent platform. Don't just bring in content from anywhere and expect your users to start liking it on Instagram.
Great. We have one very wide question from Ijas here. What do you think is the future of digital marketing? How does the future of digital marketing look like?
Wow, that's quite a variety of questions. What do you think? What do you think? This is a question I asked back to the person who asked this question. The world is becoming digital, right? Things are moving from offline to online at a speed that we've never seen before, right? TV is becoming digital. Today, you can connect to the internet and smart apps from your smart TV, right? So everything is becoming digital. Your watches will turn digital. You have already turned digital and will continue to do so. Your televisions are turning digital, and digital everywhere. The future is bright again, as long as these mediums don't become spammy. Right? Email came in. Email was quickly overtaken by spammers, and then again, to some extent, it's been brought under control. Yes, but which is why I would stress on some of the content we went through today, and some of the content that that also UpGrad is taking, has got as part of its course, into how we can create digital marketers who market smartly, who are ethical, and who are user centric. And I think the last point is can't be emphasized more than that. Your digital marketing needs to be user centric across any channel, right? It could be there are a large number of digital channels, but if you put out user centric advertising, and the number of users are only growing, there's definitely a very, very bright future.
Okay, the last question here for you tonight. What are the key mistakes that digital marketers need to stop making right now?
Oh, definitely. Again, this fits in with the theme that we've been speaking about today evening. Digital marketers need to be user-centric, right? More than anything else, we as digital marketers have a wide variety of tools at our disposal. There are a lot of powerful tools. There are targeting tools. There are delivery tools. With a click of a button, you can send out a few 100,000 emails to people. You can, if you have a budget, you can click start campaign and have your campaign run across India and go out, right? It's very easy to do that, and digital marketers learn to do that without too much difficulty. But the advice is finally to come back, be user-centric, put out marketing that your users would love, and which is when you as a business will succeed.
Great. I think thanks so much for your time, Sujoy. That was extremely insightful. As some of you guys know, Sujoy is also a guest lecturer in our UpGrad digital marketing program. So I would thank you so much now, Sujoy, for taking out your time, and would spend like some minutes on running you guys through what we have tried to pull together for this UpGrad digital marketing certification program, if any of you guys are interested. So let me just share my screen here. Okay, I think first of all, let me just briefly talk about what we are covering in the UpGrad digital marketing program. And I think lots of the topics and lots of the areas have actually been covered today. And Sujoy has actually talked about these areas briefly. The UpGrad digital marketing program is a 5-month program altogether. Okay, I'm not on the screen. Yeah, it's a 5-month program that is divided into 3 key frameworks. The first framework is all about marketing in the digital age, giving individuals, right, whether you are a traditional marketer who want to go digital, whether you're a digital marketer who wants to step up and become a digital marketing manager, or whether you are a business executive the clarity, what digital marketing is all about, or what marketing is all about in the digital age, giving you an understanding about branding and marketing fundamentals, the evolution of marketing, giving you understanding about the digital marketing funnel and marketing strategies on a broader scale. The second part of the program is all about going deep into the different channels that you can use to achieve your business goals, right? So these 10 weeks of the program are divided into areas like SEO marketing, SEM marketing, email marketing, areas like social media marketing, retargeting, areas like how to build a website, how to build a web presence, how to build engaging user experience and user interfaces to attract and engage with audiences. And once you have understood all these different channels, right, be it email marketing, be it social media marketing, be it retargeting, be it content marketing, be it building a website presence, then the last part of the program is all about creating holistic digital marketing strategies. How do I use data and how do I use these different channels that I have at my hand and at my exposure to actually create strategies that help me achieve the business goals that I have defined, whether you want to attract audiences, whether you want to engage with prospects, whether you want to convert these prospects to actual customers. The last 6 weeks really give you that hand-on exposure on how do I create strategies across all of these channels and how do I optimize these channels by leveraging the data that I have, right? And I think the way we have structured the UpGrad digital marketing program is in a very experiential manner. So we have tied up with 15 of the leading companies and leading brands in the digital space, brands like Disney, brands like HCL Technologies, brands like Grofers, but also agencies like Group M, Publicis Group, OLM, right? The leaders in the digital space to actually create case studies that expose you to the challenges that real decision makers in digital are facing, right? We are offering career fairs and placement assistance. If you are looking for a job or an opportunity in digital, right, we are facilitating this through facilitating interviews and giving you the chance to interact with some of the leading brands and some of the leading companies. We do have live coaching and mentoring sessions as part of the programs. You are getting career mentoring and skill profiling throughout the program. And what we really believe is, as a digital marketer nowadays, or as a marketer in the digital age, you can not only stop by understanding a certain concept, you really have to be in a position to apply a certain concept, right? And to actually apply a certain concept, we believe that you have to run campaigns on your own. And that's why we have actually put into the program the opportunity for you to run live campaigns, right? And get feedback on these live campaigns, right? Across different channels, so that you really get this hands-on exposure. How do I run campaigns? How do I actually create meaningful strategies in digital, and not only stop at listening to a talk, but really getting your hands dirty and doing it yourself. If you are asking yourself, how does this learning actually look like? So there's a mixture of interacting video lectures, the real industry projects of these 15 leading companies that I have talked about. You get live Q&As with industry experts like Sujoy, like Jaideep Prabhu from Cambridge University. You get feedback from industry experts on all the case studies and industry projects that you're running through. And we have domain experts at UpGrad who are there to actually answer any doubts and any questions that you might have throughout the journey. Now, if you ask yourself now, who are the guys who will be teaching me? And I think that is something that we believe at UpGrad is extremely important, giving you exposure to the top leaders in this space. So you will not only learn from Sujoy, right, who is picking up retargeting, display marketing as the key modules, but also you will hear from Karan Sareen, who's the Chief Marketing Officer of OnePlus. You will hear from Ashok Lala, his perspective and his views on certain areas in digital. He has more than 20 years of experience in digital. You will hear from professors from Cambridge University like Jaideep Prabhu about the fundamentals of branding and marketing. You will hear from Michael Leander, Europe's leader in digital, about email marketing and how to nurture leads in the digital space. You will hear from individuals like Apoorv Chamaria, who is the head of corporate marketing of HCL Technologies, Saki Deer, who leads marketing and data analytics for Microsoft, and many, many more such individuals to actually equip you for marketing in the digital age. And if you guys have any questions on the program, or if you want to know anything more, what UpGrad is all about, or what this program is all about, please do reach out to our buddies. Do reach out to me after this webinar. I'm happy to chat about the program or whatever stuff you want to know. And I think these webinars that we are having with Sujoy, with Ashok, with many more such leaders in the future, keep coming to them. We'd love to share some more of our insights. And if you want to become a marketer, a digital marketer, if you want to just get a deep knowledge because you're an entrepreneur and you know that a significant amount of your spendings is going into digital, or whether you are a digital marketer who really wants to become a manager rather than an executor, then you should really think about this program and see if it's something for you. Other than that, I would really thank you for coming today. I think we had a great, very interactive session, a very interactive audience today. Keep coming, and I thank you so much for taking out the time on a Monday evening. And other than that, I say thanks and bye.